Hi guys, EVP Man here with Tablets for Me. And today we're going to do a review of the Nest Learning Thermostat. We're going to do an unboxing and an installation. So let's check out the details and see what's involved. So depending on the state that you're in, right now may be the time for you to consider a Nest thermostat. Many of the local municipalities or states that you may be operating in or live in have incentives that could discount the cost or rebate that could discount the cost of the Nest thermostat up to $100. So I've seen online and I've seen in some states, including the state that I'm in, the state of Illinois, where if you have a Nest thermostat installed, you could get a $100 back rebate, which is really going to help absorb the cost of installing a Nest thermostat. So why would you consider a Nest thermostat? So why would you consider a Nest thermostat? And there's a slew of features that you'll learn and take advantage of. One of the most important things for me personally is that I find myself adjusting the temperature of my home thermostat during the day and during the night. And I find myself frequently changing it based on the temperature that's outside. Well, the Nest thermostat has intelligence that also allows you to schedule as well as intelligently adjust the conditions of your home without you having to manually make all these changes. So it's a learning thermostat, so it's taking into account several situations. So as we look right here, there's really no more scheduling or programming as it has an auto schedule capability, and it's going to learn from how you use the thermostat. You can override things, so you do have the control to make changes like you would a traditional thermostat. What you're going to do is, as you're not around, the thermostat is going to lower its temperature automatically and really take into account that there's no one in the home. So why overheat the home when no one's available? You'll be able to remotely control your thermostat, as you can see here, and then also you'll be able to understand your history and see what it really is you're consuming when it comes to the energy to maintain your house warm or cool. And literally, it's an installation of 30 minutes or less. So we're going to test all these things out during this install. So first thing that's going to do is we're going to open up the box. I already removed the plastic, make that a little bit easier. And we're going to take a look at what's included inside of the packaging. So here we have our Nest thermostat, and the design for the Nest thermostat is really high tech. It's very modern. You'll see we've seen other thermostats, maybe as you were growing up, they have this circular model. You see a lot of them that are rectangle and you have circular. So this is what our thermostat looks like here, and we'll install that in a couple seconds. Inside the box we have more things. We have some instruction guides. Let's move this up. So here you have some details about the product. You also have the base, and you'll notice that the base is color-coded, or not color-coded, but it does indicate, based on the wiring that you're getting or that you have in your house, how you need to connect it. And it's a pretty simple installation. We're going to take a look at how this works in a second. You have included, so you don't even need to have your own screwdriver. You do have a screwdriver. You have two screws that you'll use for the install. And let's see what else is in here. Oh, really good. A faceplate. Keep in mind that many of us have large openings where our thermostat is, especially if you have a rectangular thermostat. So you're going to need a faceplate like this to cover up whatever openings you have, and your Nest thermostat will fall right here in the middle. Let's see what else we got. And here we have another base. So looks like this goes underneath, this goes on top, and then everything stays nice and firm. Let's see what else we got in here. It looks like we have two additional screws here and two additional screws on the bottom. So that's everything that's in the box. So just to recap, what you have in the box is a user guide with the welcome kit, some screws that you'll use to install the thermostat, a screwdriver that you'll use during the installation, your thermostat, the base, and this is where all your wiring is going to be connected, a mounting plate, as well as a large cover to cover any kind of large opening that you may have. Now, before doing the install, I just wanted to show you some features of the mounting system. The first thing you'll notice right here is that there is a explicit warning to make sure you turn off all your heating and cooling systems before you install the thermostat. The other thing that I really like is you'll notice that there's a level here, a bubble, and you'll notice this is going to help you make sure that this is placed with the right level. So you need another tool. As soon as you're placing this in, you'll notice you'll adjust it so that that bubble is right in the center so that it will adjust. The other thing is, as you're mounting your your wiring, there's a little button here that you'll press, and you'll notice that this gives you the ability to place your wiring. So each one of these, it's really easy. There's no screws that you're going to have to place in here. Everything works nicely, and you'll see that the wires are going to come through this hole here, and then what you do is you'll open this up, put the wire in, push this down, and it'll open up, and you'll put the wire in, push it down, and you'll continue to put each wire. So a very easy installation, really very little tools required. Now every thermostat is going to be different when it comes to the removing it or uninstalling it. I've removed mine, and what I wanted to show you here is just the wiring. Some older homes have all their cables could be gray. In my case, it's a newer home, so all my wiring is actually in the appropriate color. But what I did is the Nest installation guide that you see right here has inside of it some stickers that you can use, and I use them just for illustration purposes. What you want to do is, if you find that your cables or the wiring coming from for your furnace are all gray, you want to label each one. So you put the red for the red, the yellow for the yellow, and so on. That way, when you connect it to the Nest thermostat, everything lines up appropriately. So now that I have marked all of the cables or the wiring, what I'm going to do now is remove each one of the screws or loosen the screws so that the cables come out. Keep in mind, I had already powered down my furnace and my cooling system. Now, using the included screwdriver, all I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen each one of these screws. Now that I've removed the face plate that was connecting to the wires that I have here, I'm going to put the base. And all you're going to do is, remember, everything is powered down, so you really don't have to worry about things. Just put this face plate first. I'm going to mount it here and then tighten the screws that are going to hold it in place. So all I did is I took the two existing, there's a base behind here, there's an electrical plate right here where the screws go into. Put the screws that I had from my previous thermostat through on each side and tightened up the base. You notice that I have the wiring coming through this hole. You may need a second person to help you with this if you find that the wires are too short, or you want to make sure they don't fall through the hole. I have a lot of cabling here, so I don't have to worry about that, and it's pretty stiff. Another thing that you may want to do is, if you have some black electrical tape, you could tape it down to make sure that it doesn't move. But now that I have my base in, the next thing I'm going to do now is take this face plate that covers the entire base and the opening that I have there, and just cover it up and make sure that this looks good before I continue with the install. So I'm just going to make sure that this aligns nicely, and you'll notice that this does have some play, so when it comes to aligning it, you don't really have to worry that the base is 100% level, because you'll be able to adjust this right here. So this works out really good. You'll notice that it covers up the opening rather nicely, because on this side I do have a portion of it that is exposed because of the glass that was cut just for this installation. So next thing I'm going to do is put the other face plate, or where I would connect all the wires, and I'll show you how that's done. So now that I have the two screws here placed, I'm going to leave these two for last, as they're going to be used to support these 2 points on the base here. Now that they've been installed, all I'm going to do is take the wires, feed it through this hole right here, and I'm going to place it here. Take the screw that I have here, put it in this top hole, tighten it up slightly so that I can then look at the alignment of the bubble that you see here in the level. One thing to keep in mind is that your screwdriver is two-sided. It has a magnetic holder that, as you pull this out and switch it so that you can tighten the screw, it will hold the bit in place. So you notice it's right there, and you'll feel that, and then you'll use that tip that you have here to tighten that screw. Now that I have one screw in place, I just want to look at my bubble, and you'll notice right there that the bubble is right in the center. So I'm going to put the second screw on the bottom to tighten the bottom, and then I'll do the wiring. Now, connecting the wiring is pretty straightforward. You're just going to go by the colors and the fact that you've tagged each one of the wires. So red goes into the red, and all you're going to do is just feed it in. You notice how the majority of it went in. You can do the same thing for each one of the colors. So I'm going to do that for the yellow, white, green, all the ones that I have available, and they'll just go into each one. So this white, which was a primary one, I'll just move this out of the way like this, straighten it a little bit to the best I can so that it's nice and straight, and then I'll just put it in here and slide it in slowly. So now I've made sure that all the cables are pushed in, or the wires are pushed in nice and firm. As you can see there, I've pushed the wiring back, and now what I'm going to do is put the Nest thermostat on top once I turn on the power. Alright, so the next step is we're going to remove this from the bottom of the Nest, and you'll notice that there's some contact points right here. These contact points align with the contact points that are here, so we're just going to place it right on top and make sure that it aligns nicely, and then push in. Now that the base is connected, you'll notice that the thermostat is starting up. There are really no batteries to connect, since the wiring is going to provide power for this thermostat. So we're going to let it go through its startup process, and you'll notice there's a little LED blinking here, and pretty much our process is almost complete. A couple things that you need to do. If you don't have a Nest account, you want to set up an account. If you already have a Nest account because you have the Nest cameras, this is going to be part of the entire ecosystem, so you'll be fine when it comes to that. You'll notice here it's right now going through showing you all the features of the thermostat. It's a very good looking thermostat, as you saw. LED really nice looking LED, OLED actually, and then looking at the chrome that you have here, the brushed nickel finish, I really like the way that looks. So what we're going to do now is choose our language. I'm going to go down, choose that, let's see if it's tap. So the next thing we're going to do is going to go down and choose our language. And once we've done that, let's see how we go to the next thing. So the next thing we're going to do is choose our language. So I'm going to go up to English. You're going to tap the top of the screen, and then it's going to ask me, do I want to confirm? Push in again. You don't have to worry about pushing in, and you're not going to break anything. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our internet connection. So I'm going to push in. I'm going to connect. And I'm going to choose my network. Once your thermostat is successfully connected to your network, you'll get a confirmation message, and you can see I have a successful connection. Tap the top again, and now it's going to check for a update as you find, since this is a software-based solution and it looks like there is an update. So we're going to let it go through the update process, and then we'll come back to the setup process. So the Nest thermostat is going to reboot 2 to 3 times as it's doing the update. But what I really appreciate is the fact that even though it rebooted multiple times, it brought me to the exact next step. So I've set my language, I've set the internet connection, now I'm going to set my location. I'm going to tap on the top here, or press. Now I'm going to hit continue. And it's looking to see what my location is, if that's correct, and it is. So it was able to determine where I'm at. I'm going to say yes. And that I am in a single family home. You can do multifamily, apartment, or condo. I'm in a single family. And where's my thermostat? It is in the dining room, so we're going to have that. Heating and cooling, and then it's asking me if I'm a home Nest Pro, homeowner or pro. I'm a homeowner. All right. It's detecting where my wiring is, so you'll notice that it's connected the yellow, the green, the heat, and the power. So everything is looks like everything looks good. So we'll hit continue. My system, it's basically saying it's heating, cooling, and fans. I'm going to hit continue. All right. What is the fuel source for my furnace? My furnace is gas-based. You notice that you have a lot of different options. What type of heating do you have? You know, in floor, radiated, or forced air. Mine is forced air. Now it's going to ask me my temperature. So should Nest begin by heating or cooling your home? Right now it's the winter for me, so it's kind of cold outside, so I'm going to go ahead and set that. And what should the temperature be? So now I'm going to go through the configuration of what I'd like. So for me, from a temperature perspective, and all you're going to do is turn the dial, is the coldest that I like the house to be is at 68, right? And then we're going to go into the next. And when I'm away, what am I going to be the cool to? Let's see what I'll change that to. Since I'm in the winter, I'm not going to set the cool to, so I'm just going to hit continue, and I'm going to hit done. All right. Now I'm going to do a system test. And I'm going to hit, I'm going to say test now. And we're going to test the heating. And it's asking me to go ahead and test it and check my vents to make sure I'm getting cool air. So we'll let it go through the process, and then I'll come back to the video. All right, so now that process is complete, we're going to hit done. All right, and we're just going to continue. We're just going to go to done. But you can test each one of those. I'm going to hit continue, continue, and we're finished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the temperature right now to 71, and then press enter. So several settings here that you see. Here's what the day is, the temperature outside, what I want the temperature to be inside of the house, as well as the humidity. If we go to the next one, where my home is, you can go into settings and what the software is. You can schedule calendar entries, and this is really to allow you if you're going to be going on vacation, that kind of stuff. What your energy usage is, how your fan is set up. My fan is set up to automatic, and then the thermostat is right now in heat mode, right? Because it's right now the winter for me. All right, so let's now go to the application and see how the application interacts with the thermostat. All right, so now if you want to connect your Nest to your Nest account so that you can control it via an app or your PC. All we're going to do is, let's get out of this for a second. We're going to go into settings, and we're going to move over into this area right here, Nest account. We're going to get an entry key. And now this is the key that we're going to enter once we get into our Nest account. Let's go ahead and do that. So now what I'm going to do is connect the Nest thermostat to my Nest account. If you don't have one, all you have to do is create one. It's really easy coming to the site. One of the things I wanted to highlight, I talked about this in the opening of the video. You'll notice here that in the state that I'm in, ComEd is issuing a $100 rebate. This is what I was referring to. It's on the Nest website. You can click on this and then find the rebate if there's a rebate available in your area. And you could download that form, fill it out, and that's going to really help with absorbing the cost of a Nest thermostat. I think it's pretty cool that you can get that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign into my Nest account. I've already had authenticated that, so I'm going in and not having to sign in again. And you can see that I have my home information with my cameras. I actually have 3 cameras right now. And I'm going to go into the settings area here, and I'm going to add a product. Here, you'll notice that there are several products that you can add. I'm going to choose the thermostat, and pretty much I've already set it up. So now we're going to do the next thing. I'm going to go into next. I've already installed it, and here I'm going to put in the code that I received in the screen that we just did just a couple seconds ago. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, and now once you've inputted the code, the screen is going to update immediately. So it just takes a couple seconds. You're going to put it in, and as you can see here, this information immediately was accepted. Now I'm going to hit done, and you'll notice that in my dining room I have my thermostat. So I have my 3 cameras, and now I have my thermostat. So I'm going to click on it, and here you can see everything that's available on the thermostat. If you have a Nest, let's say the Nest app already installed, and I did because I had my security cameras, you're going to be using the same app. So what I like about this is, while the interface is really easy on the thermostat as we saw, I'm going to be managing the activity of my home using really the app and the website. So here I can once again look at inside humidity, look at the outside temperature. If I click here, I can see what activities are taking place. My thermostat is set to heat and cool, but right now I have it to heat. I can switch that a little bit later in the summer. And over here I have my fan settings, I have the schedule, and what I like here is that this is now more of a schedule similar to what you would see in a calendar setting. So I'm going to get out of that. And then you have your history. I have no history since the thermostat is just recently installed. I can change by clicking on these things, increasing or decreasing the temperature as well. So far, really like how easy the interface is, and you can see that it's very easy. So now let's talk a little bit about how did you work with the schedule. So I'm going to choose the schedule feature here, and you'll notice I have 2 times here. I'm going to show you how I set this up. I'm telling the thermostat that at 5:15 in the morning on Mondays, I would like the temperature to come up to 71. And you notice over here at 8 p.m., I'd like the temperature to drop to 68. So you could copy this week throughout every single day, or what I can do is manually change it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to set up Sunday. So Sunday being in Saturday, let's say I don't get up as early to work. So I'm going to add an entry. And you'll notice that my mouse now has a temperature setting. So I'm going to go to Saturday, and I'm going to say I don't really get up as early. So I'm not up at 5. I'm going to say that at 7:15, I'd like the temperature to change. So I'm saying at 7:15, I want the temperature to come up. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another entry. I'm going to say now coming at 8 o'clock at night, I would like the temperature to go back to 68. Okay, so those are going to be the 2 temperature settings. Now, that's how easy it is to configure these settings. Now, let's say I'd like to add or copy this, right? All I'm going to do is say copy,
and I'm going to say copy week, copy week, and I'm going to say, we're going to go here first. Let me do this, copy. I'm going to go here and I'm going to do paste. So that's set here. I'm going to come up here, click on Monday, copy, and I want to set up Tuesday the same way, Wednesday the same way, Thursday, and Friday. All right. So pretty much now this is my schedule. Notice that there's not really so much about a calendar period. It's not a specific month, but pretty much now this is going to be set up, and this is going to be my setting for all winter. 71 at these times, 68 at the others. And you can see pretty simple to set that up. So I'm going to click X to close it. If I go back into my schedule, you'll notice it's there, it's saved.
So now this is the Nest app, but this is the app on the phone. So we saw the website a couple seconds ago, and now we're looking at the app on the phone. And you can see that it's pretty much the same. It has the same layout as what we saw earlier. You have your cameras, if you have any cameras, and then you have your thermostat. You'll notice that the thermostat is no longer gray, but it's kind of like in a warm orange, and that's because the thermostat is actually heating. So the heating is currently on in my home, so it's keeping it at 71. As you'll notice, one of the nice things that Nest has done, and I really appreciate this as a designer, is that they've kept the experience consistent. So if you look at the interface here that you have for the phone, it looks the same as you saw on the thermostat, and it was the same that you saw on the website. So these buttons down here are going to allow you to increase or decrease the temperature of the house. You have the same controls here at the very bottom. The schedule that I just showed you how to work with is here. It's in landscape mode, but it's there exactly. And then the history, if there is any, in my case it's not, because it's only been installed today. So everything is exactly the same. Just wanted to show you how it looked and what the experience was like. So this concludes my unboxing, installation, and overview of all the features of the Nest thermostat, both the thermostat, the phone app, as well as the website itself. A lot of cool features with this thermostat. Even as you walk up to it, if it sees you, it turns on by itself. And those of you again who are considering this but think that it may be a little bit too expensive and out of reach, remember many of the states are offering $100 rebates if you install this thermostat. So check it out at Nest's website. I want to first of all thank Nest for making this product available to us, and I want to thank you all for watching. If you have any comments or questions, leave it on the YouTube channel. Thanks again.